Happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Chinnist. Today is November 21st, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my haul here of 32 with 27 different titles. I threw up my Midtown order on the left-hand side as well. I have read through this stack. Starting off on the DC side, Justice League number 12. This is part 3 of Drowned Earth. I feel it's a great storyline so far. This one kind of brings in Poseidon, kind of gives you a little bit more background as to Poseidon's role in these, aquatic gods who have invaded the Earth. And, come to find out, they've been here before. There's a previous battle. Love this artwork that kind of went along with some of this storytelling with the Poseidon. So yeah, overall, great storyline. Highly suggest for y'all to try to pick this one up if you are indeed picking up Justice League, or if you've been, kind of shy away from it. I think the reboot, man, has been spectacular so far. Yeah, I really enjoy Batman in Lex Luthor's old suit, kind of kicking some ass as well. So yeah, great stuff. Justice League number 12. Pick this one up just for a cover grab. This is Aquaman number 42. It is a Drowned Earth tie-in. I kind of, thumbed through it as when I picked it up, but really picked it up just for the cover grab. So yeah, threw it in Mylar. So yeah, Aquaman number 42. Justice League Dark number 5, and I also picked up that cover B. This was Clayton Crane. I thought that was pretty spectacular, man. There was only 3 on the rack and the other 2 were damaged, or else I would have grabbed at least one more. But yeah, really love that cover. So Justice League Dark number 5. The number 4 kind of concluded that witch hunting, or the witching hour, story arc. Man, great stuff. So this one kind of kicks off a new story arc. This one kind of centers around the fight against Naboo. So Naboo kind of got his helmet back and in control, and Naboo has actually been in the background of that helmet. Let me get you, yep. Naboo has actually been in the background of the helmet, so whoever wore the helmet, Naboo was kind of always in the background, but he actually has full control now, to where I don't think he's done that like in decades or centuries or something of that nature. But yeah, pretty cool fight against him and Swamp Thing. So I'm actually thinking about swapping over into trade on this one. But yeah, I am going to continue to pick it up, but just in trade. So yeah, Justice League number 5. Man, great artwork, great storyline. I'm just going to continue on in trade. Damage number 11. So Damage was one that I've heard through the grapevine that they're going to be, killing him off or getting rid of him. And, it's unfortunate because from like maybe issue number 9 or 8 on, man, it got really, really more intriguing, a lot more exciting when he first emerged, in my opinion. So, when he first came out, pretty good job on the storytelling and the character development. Took a huge nosedive on both the artwork and the storytelling, but I really feel they kind of brought it back around. So this one, it's the Justice League kind of fighting Damage. They've kind of been tracking him since he first kind of emerged, and he's, destroyed the compound that kind of made him kind of like a Weapon X type of storyline. But yeah, the Justice League is here now to kind of stop Damage. I don't think they know who he is, or that he, converts to Damage, or how long he has. But man, great storyline overall. This one, even though Superman's on the cover, Superman is actually on the very last page, and I guess the next issue is a big battle with Superman. So really looking forward to that one. I found it kind of funny that this entire issue, so Damage is damaged for exactly like 1 hour, and after 60 minutes he kind of turns off. And through the storyline, they kind of tell you like where you're at. So he started at 43 minutes left, and there's a countdown. And the very last page was actually, I think, 36 minutes. And what I found kind of funny was I kind of looked at the clock, and it actually took me 7 minutes to read this issue. And in the comic book, this entire comic book took exactly 7 minutes. So I thought that was kind of a coincidence there. But yeah, Damage number 11. Teen Titans, man, I love this storyline. Love this group, the new group of Teen Titans they have together now. Some of the newer characters they introduced. Teen Titans number 24. This entire issue is, very, highly thrilling, highly climatic. So you have this building that kind of came down on them, crushes, holding up the entire building, this entire issue. But she's getting kind of weak as time ticks by. So you have this entire discussion of how they got there, what's going to happen going forward. There's a lot of team secrets starts coming out in some of this discussion. So yeah, excellent team dynamics, great team dialogue, throughout this entire issue. Ever since this new team got together that Robin put together, man, really enjoy this Teen Titans. So yeah, Teen Titans number 24. Highly suggest for y'all to pick this one up. Sideways, number 10. So one of the other new heroes, along with Damage, I hear they're going to keep this guy around, yet I hear some rumors they're going to kill him off. So I don't know what's going on with this character, but overall, I do enjoy the character. A lot of similarities to Spider-Man, but, in my opinion, doesn't really matter. He's his own character. I think he's done a pretty good job. They've done a pretty good job building up his character. So his mother was actually killed off in maybe issue number 4, maybe 4 or 6. And then you also find out that he was adopted, which he just found out in this one issue, and his father didn't really want him to begin with, and now he's kind of looking to walk away since his mother is dead. So you're having this entire character build up here, kind of like an Uncle Ben, Spider-Man type of storyline, some deep issues as to why he's becoming a hero. So yeah, man, I think they're doing a really great job with Sideways. I really hope they keep him around. So yeah, Sideways number 10. Web of Venom, Carnage Born. So this is by Donny Cates, and I picked up, just because of Donny Cates, I picked up a cover A, cover B. Cover B is still a 1-for-1 there, but just kind of for a spec box. So this one here, highly suggest, if you're a Carnage fan, I really suggest for y'all to go pick this one up. This one kind of starts off with a little bit of a, retelling of who Carnage is, how his origin story. So start off with him being born, and I don't know if this was ever told in the Spider-Man comics or not, but you find out that, what's his name, Cletus Cassidy, was actually killed, or he died, not stillborn, but as soon as he was born, he then died with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck, and he came back to life. And apparently, he tells the story as he's an adult that he remembers all of that. He remembers dying, somehow, some way. So, he was like always evil, kind of a little bit backstory there. But they go into when he first, ran into the little piece of Venom that turned into Carnage. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And come to find out, there's this little cult who has been following Null and is aware of Carnage. So this one here is where Carnage, here's a little picture of Null. This one here is where Carnage actually merges with Null's dragon that he sent, long time ago that that Thor actually defeated in what was that, God of Thunder. So yeah, pretty cool storyline. But yeah, cool stuff, and you see how he comes back to Earth, because he was actually killed off, so you see how Carnage actually comes back to Earth. So yeah, very cool stuff if you're into Carnage, and he's getting pretty popular because there's speculation he may be in the next movie. But if you're a Carnage fan, highly suggest for y'all pick this one up. Web of Venom, Carnage Born. Okay, moving on to Marvel Knights. So I was able to pick up, this was by Jay Lee. This one was listed about $25 on Midtown that I saw earlier today. Don't know what's going for on Midtown. I'm sorry, on eBay right now. But yeah, really enjoy Elektra. I mean, I love a lot of covers with her on there. But yeah, really enjoy this one. Got the connecting cover as well. I think this is cover B. I did not pick up a cover A. I'm going to try to pick up all the connecting covers all the way through. So yeah, Marvel Knights, this one was kind of, I guess, Donny Cates with Matthew Rosenberg, but Rosenberg actually did all the dialogue here throughout this this one issue. I'm not sure if issue number 1 was like that one or not. So in this one title, you have some of these main characters that we know: Daredevil, Punisher, a couple others introduced here in this one issue, Bruce Banner as well. But you have to where they've lost their memory and they're living like this other secret double life. They have dreams of being heroes in the past, but they can't really figure it out. So they're coming all together and, trying to figure it out. Some of them have already been exposed to it. Some of them know. Some of them are trying to figure it out. So yeah, pretty cool artwork to go along with it. Enjoy the storyline. So yeah, Marvel Knights. I was not looking to pick this one up, but pretty good storyline overall. picked up yet another Infinity Warps. You know, a lot of these mashups. This one was Ghost Panther, so it was a Ghost Rider mixed up with the Black Panther. So, you know, I was looking to skip, you know, a lot of these, but they were all in my pull box, so I kind of decided to kind of pick up at least the number ones, kind of give them a shot. So this one was okay. So you have Black, you know, not very realistic in the overall storyline. You know, I don't think this would ever happen, but T'Challa is actually Black Panther. He turns away from his father, and he goes to America to become a motorcycle, like, daredevil guy. Or Evel Knievel type of person. So, you know, that's not very realistic or very true to T'Challa's character. But throughout all of this, he, you know, comes into a close to a wreck type of death situation, and he agrees to become the Black Panther. Or the Ghost Rider, in a sense. So, yeah, okay storyline. You know, if you are a Black Panther fan, you're looking for something a little bit different, here it is. Other than that, purely skippable in my opinion. So yeah, Ghost Panther. Sipder-Geddon. Yet another title that I was looking to skip, but after I picked up a few of them here and there, like, really fell in love with the storyline. So very, very action-packed. I love all the new characters that they kind of brought along. They introduced some. They brought along, like, Spider-Ham, who's been there for, you know, for decades. You know, but has not been in the forefront for quite some time. So yeah, I really enjoyed the characters they kind of grabbed and the new ones they created just for this one title. So overall, very action-packed. The storyline moves very, very well. You have a few of the spiders have already been killed, I think, in the last issue. But you have the vampires who are going from multiverse to multiverse, and they feed on Spider-Man. You know, specific Spider-Man, you know, from in various multiverses. So pretty cool storyline overall. They're trying to stop them here on Earth 616. Great action-packed stuff. So yeah, if you're a Spider-Man fan, I highly suggest for y'all to go pick this one up. You know, I think just because of all the crossovers and things of that nature, I think some people are kind of put off on some of these big tie-ins. So this is worth it in my opinion. So yeah, Sipder-Geddon. Got a number one, Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. So I was unaware of this one when it came out. Today. So reading through, it seems like that Sipder-Geddon was supposed to actually occur, and then this one was to pick up, is what it kind of seems like, because this team that you see on the cover was already pre-selected, and they're out fighting, you know, just various things that are in the multiverse. So, you know, don't really know if they released this one too early before Sipder-Geddon was finished. I don't know if y'all know, please tell me down below, but I don't know, the timeline didn't seem to make sense to me here, but nonetheless, I really enjoy the artwork, the storyline here. You know, one good battle against, what was his name, Mog or Throg, I think was this guy's name. Not familiar with this guy, but pretty good dialogue all the way through. Great comedy relief from Spider-Ham. Man, I love, like, everything that comes out of the kid's or the guy's mouth, man, like all the way through. So yeah, without Spider-Ham, I don't know if I would have enjoyed this as much, but very good storyline, great artwork, great dialogue. So yeah, hard to complain about it. Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. Star Wars, number 57. So again, any Star Wars lover, you know, I highly suggest for y'all to go pick up this title in trade, check out the monthlies. It's, you know, some of it is a little bit slow to kind of build up the story arcs, but story arcs always finish off with, you know, huge excitement, you know, great chase, you know, great duels, great lightsaber duels, you know, from time to time. Good Star Wars storyline, man. So this one, a little bit more of a slow burn. This is starting off a very new story arc. You have them kind of trapped out like on this moon world, and with no way to get off of it. So trying to figure out if these the people who helped them out are actually friends or foes. Pretty good storyline overall. I enjoy the artwork. Again, if you're a Star Wars fan, highly suggest for y'all pick these up. Astonishing X-Men. So, you know, y'all may know from watching previous videos now that, you know, X-Men is what got me into comics originally. And, you know, X-Men has always been my team. You know, love them. I took a huge break away from them. So when they, Marvel started all the various X-Men Prime and started all the various colors, you know, I jumped all over those. You know, I loved them all. So this one here, you know, this one title, I feel is really geared towards those, more of the adults, the adult lovers of the X-Men, not really geared towards the teens, in any way. But man, I really enjoy X-Men Red and this one title, Astonishing X-Men. And it looks like they're actually finishing this one off. I need to go check that out, because it looks like number 17 is the finale of this one title here. But man, if it is, man, great finale altogether. And Havoc kind of went from, a complete change from being an evil guy all the way to being a hero. And in this one issue, Dazzler kind of comes up with a couple new powers that I've never seen her use before. I haven't read her since like the early 80s, but yeah, a couple new powers in here, man. Really cool how she takes like Banshee's scream like right in her face, man, and turns it onto the Sentinels, and love it. So yeah, like a big fan of Dazzler just after reading this one issue one more time. So yeah, Astonishing X-Men number 17. Really enjoy this title. I think it's done. Comment down below if y'all know. Uncanny X-Men number 2, and if Astonishing X-Men is done, it's due to this one title. So this one's coming out weekly, at least for the first 4 weeks that I'm aware of. Not sure how long it's going to go weekly, but overall, that first issue was completely mediocre. If y'all recall my comments on the from last week's video, and it was a 3-part storyline that two of the stories had nothing to do with the main storyline. And I really feel if they would have put issue number 1 and this issue number 2 together, it would have been a completely different relaunch. I think it would have been more successful. After seeing some videos, I'm way behind on my watch later playlist, but after watching a few videos from last week, it didn't seem like many X-Men lovers out there enjoyed that number 1, same as I did. It was just lackluster, mediocre, to say the least. But this one turned it around, man. I mean, they really should have combined issue number 1 and 2 together, and it would have been a completely different result, in my opinion. But yeah, if number 1 puts you off and you put it down, I suggest for y'all to at least pick up the number 2 and give it a shot. So, you continue the storyline with Jamie Madrox, multiple men, and for some reason he has like all the X-Men powers, and they haven't really not explained that yet, but something's kind of screwy around with his genetics. Something's kind of going on with him. But yeah, great excitement, great dialogue. This is what issue number 1 should have been. Uncanny X-Men number 2. Right, Weapon H. So this one really centered around Morgan Le Fay, as you see here on the cover. Pretty cool fight, a pretty cool duel with, the Hulkverine and Magic. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. A little bit more background on Morgan Le Fay that I really never knew. I'm not too big of a fan of hers. I kind of saw her more in the animated, various shows more than anything else. But yeah, enjoy this one. It seemed like just a little one-off. There's the end of this one concludes into number 2, and the storyline continues on just a little bit more. But yeah, pretty good fight here, in my opinion. So yeah, Weapon H number 10. Another weapon, we have Weapon X. So the very end of that last issue number 25, it seemed like this entire team was going down into hell. And so, not to give away too much, it kind of seems like that's what's going on here. This is really kind of like one entire dream sequence had by Sabretooth. The end of the last issue, his head was actually cut off. So you see that here, and a pretty good read. Y'all should go read that issue number 25. But this one here, really like an entire dream sequence, man. Very cool stuff, especially if you are a Sabretooth lover. So yeah, Weapon X number 26. Moving on to Image, we have a new one, number 1 by Scotty Young, Middlewest. So just picked up 2 of the cover A's, just one for the spec box. This one, a little bit weird. This one needs to unfold just a little bit more so, I could understand the storyline a little bit more, but man, really enjoy this one so far. You can't tell kind of what's real, what this kid is dreaming in his head, versus what this kid is dreaming. So, again, that's why I say that issue number 2 is going to be a little bit more tell-all. But yeah, so excellent artwork, man. And so this guy, George Corona, I don't know if it's George or Jorge, but man, I really enjoy his artwork, man. So a lot of 2-page splashes kind of all the way through here. Man, loved it. So this kid, you know, he dreams a lot. He has issues with his father. There's a lot of personifications with this wind monster and his father. But you see towards the end, you know, it may not be a dream. And so, you know, waiting for that story to unfold, you know, along the way, this kid has a companion. He has a fox who apparently talks. And I can't tell if the kid is the only one who could hear the fox talk or if other kids hear the fox talk as well. So, you know, TBD on that one. But man, really enjoy this character as a little kid. They're kind of building up, and you know, unknown if this kid has like supernatural powers or not. So yeah, pretty cool, very intriguing type of storyline. You know, this really wants you to makes you want to pick up that number 2, man, for sure. So yeah, Middlewest number 1. Got another one by Image, Cold Spots. Cullen Bunn, love that writer, especially on horror side of things, man. Really enjoy it. So this one kind of tells you a little bit more storyline in regard to like what these ghosts are and this little girl. So this little girl, she does have power. She's been attracting these ghosts. This one family found out about it, kind of kidnapped her and her mom, you know, trying to, you know, kind of spilling lies to her mom, saying that they could help her daughter out, things of that nature. But this whole thing was in order to bring back this one guy here that don't know who, you know, how long he's been killed or how long he's been dead or what he is, but this is kind of like a cult who's been trying to bring him back. So they're trying to use a little girl in order to bring this this guy back, who's head of this, like, you know, like murderous type of evil cult. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, man. I like how the storyline kind of took a little bit of time for it to unfold. You know, a lot better to read and trade, you know, in my opinion, to really keep the readers more engaged. But yeah, Cold Spots number 4. One more from Image, Burnouts. So yeah, 420 friendly. So yeah, this one issue, nothing more but you know, zaniness, type of fun humor. You know, it's not very realistic in any way. It's just more of a fun comic. But yeah, pretty funny stuff. So in here you have aliens who are trying to invade Earth, and the only way to see them is if you get stoned. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So, you know, once you start coming down, the aliens start to flicker and they kind of disappear, but they're there in reality. You just can't see them. So it's kind of funny how this kid's like, first things first, you know, you can't see him anymore. He's got to smoke a joint, man. You got to smoke a joint before they get chased anymore. But yeah, pretty cool stuff, pretty funny stuff in my opinion. If you're 420 friendly, looking for some humor type of a storyline, here it is. Burnouts number 3. Moving on to Aftershock, got a few from them. Pestilence, A Story of Satan, number 5. I absolutely love that first storyline, Pestilence, that came out. Man, loved it. So overall, I feel this this title, the artwork, man, alone is like a 4.75. Man, this artwork is way up there on my scale, in my opinion. Very good storytelling as well. So this one actually concludes the second arc. This is only a 5-issue arc, but man, very, very good, man. I really suggest, if you like that first story arc, to pick up this one, at least in trade. I think it's the same artist all the way through. It follows the remaining Fiat Lux Templars who did not die in that first story arc. Man, love the storyline, love the artwork. Check it out. Pestilence, Story of Satan. Hot Lunch Special number 4. Pretty cool storyline. You have, it's a mob versus a small town. So you have a couple of individuals who have taken, taken some family deaths, taken this for many years, fighting back. So this is like those private individuals kind of fighting back and getting their revenge. Very cool stuff. You know, I love a lot of revenge type of storylines. This is yet one of those. So yeah, enjoyed it. This one here sets up, for the very finale here. So I think this may be a 5-issue story arc just from the storyline that I'm reading here. But yeah, Hot Lunch Special number 4. One more from Aftershock, Lollipop Kids. So Lollipop Kids number 1 was yet another one that I was going to pass up. The owner at the first LCS suggested it to me, just kind of knowing like what I enjoy reading. So really enjoy this one here. So you have storyline overall, when the immigrants immigrated to America, they took their monsters, like all these little, from various cultures around Europe. they brought them all to the United States, and they all came to the Central Park in New York. So you had a few of the Guardians to where these families started fighting the monsters and tried to keep them in New York Park. There was a witch, one of the ones they defeated, to where this witch casted a spell to where once they turned 18, they completely lost all memories of them being a guardian for this security, monster security that they have here. Their children, however, have the ability to become the guardians, but their parents have no recollection of ever doing that. So it's kind of a pretty cool storyline to keep the generation going from generation to generation. This one gives a little bit more backstory, going all the way back to the American Revolution, when a lot of their parents passed away and the kids had to step up, and that's when the kids kind of started getting involved. But yeah, pretty cool storyline overall in my opinion. The Lollipop Kids. Picked up one from Dark Horse, The Whispering Dark. Love the supernatural horror stories, as y'all may tell from some of the titles I pick up. Very cool stuff here, so you don't know what's going on. It seemed like there's a nuclear bomb that went off. They're over in near Russia. They're behind enemy lines. They are a secret military force, like a Black Ops type of team. Very cool stuff. There's a lot of infighting here at this point in time, and I think it's due to the supernatural forces that are kind of at play. But you find out there's kind of like an occult, a couple Antichrist type symbols kind of going on. And then this little secret team actually blew away like this little civilian family, man. So pretty gruesome stuff. Very cool stuff, man. Enjoy the horror side of things. Enjoy the thrill seeking, kind of like trying to figure out what the storyline is as the storyline kind of unfolds in front of your face. But yeah, Whispering Dark number 2. Picked up one from IDW. I'm sorry, picked up 2 from IDW. This is one, Night Moves. This is a number 1 that came out. This one here, a little bit cool storyline. You have like a gambler, like a Vegas type of gambler. All his life he's been, going from one gamble to the other. Live the nightlife. Has a son. He's in cahoots with this cop, and I can't tell if this cop is a dirty cop or not. It seems like it's just kind of based on some of the action that kind of came out and how she kind of dealt with covering some stuff up. But yeah, enjoy this one overall. If you're looking for, the grifter type of, the gritty type of storyline, you have here at the end a little bit of a supernatural cult going on. So not too much explained here in this first issue. It's going to kind of unfold here, I think, the second issue. So I'm going to be picking up a number 2. This was not enough for me to fully subscribe to the title yet, but I do want to pick up the number 2, figure out like what's going on with the cult. So yeah, Night Moves number 1. Alright, picked up a nostalgic grab, GoBots. So GoBots was around, before Transformers, and not sure without GoBots if there ever would have been a Transformers, from what I understand on the toy line side of things. So overall, the GoBots kind of started it all off for me. I had a lot of GoBots kind of growing up as a kid. I had Leader 1 and all the good, all the main characters there. The artwork here, not too big of a fan. I understand what they're trying to do here. So the artwork, I would give as a standalone just like a 1.5. With the storyline, trying to get to the nostalgic feel to it, I'll bump it up to maybe like a 2. But yeah, man, not too big of a fan. And the paneling, to go along with that, not too big of a fan overall. Storyline was just mediocre, but thinking back to the cartoon was not very good on the GoBot side of things. Transformers like blew GoBots away, in regard to the characters, the character development, and the storyline overall. But again, I think without GoBots, we would not have Transformers. But yeah, GoBots number 1. All right, picked up one from Oni Press, Rick and Morty Presents Pickle Rick. So this is not the first introduction of Pickle Rick. We've already had that before. This was like a little one-off. It kind of does like a retelling of his origin story, and this kind of follows exactly how that first TV episode went. However, that other issue that came out that covered Pickle Rick was basically already this storyline like retold. So not really sure if they're just like trying to double dip on the on the Pickle Rick fan or the craze that's kind of going on right now. But yeah, I enjoyed rereading it nonetheless. So yeah, Rick and Morty presents Pickle Rick. All right, just one more from Titan Comics, Bloodborne. So this was that video game that became a comic book. I love horror, you know, as I've said multiple times in this one haul. But man, the artwork that went along with this one title, man, I thought was pretty phenomenal. The storyline, however, was, you know, the pacing of this is very, very slow. I did not play this video game. You know, I don't know how close to the video game the storyline is. But, you know, I enjoy this. I think this is better in trade. I'm actually going to quit picking this one up and switch over to trade. You know, I enjoy it. It's just the pacing just a little bit too slow. I need a little bit more storyline altogether to read through, to binge read it. So guys, yeah, that's going to be it for this week's brand new haul. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in America. Should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.